talking about how citizen scientists are rapidly generating big distribution data, a lesson from the Arewa Atlas Team under the Nigerian
This presentation project is based on the efforts of the many citizen scientists in Nigeria, particularly the Arewa, northern Nigeria, who have been contributing data to the project. Arewa Atlas Team is under the Nigerian Bird Atlas project. The Nigerian Bird Atlas project is a national project under the African Bird Atlas project with the aim of mapping the distribution of birds across Nigeria. NIBAP started in 2015 with just 3 management teams. From right to left, we have Dr. Ibandi, we have Dr. Talatu, and then Professor Utterson. Dr. Ibandi was the pioneer project manager of the NIBAP. Currently, Dr. Talatu is the manager with Professor Utterson coordinating the activities of the Nigerian Bird Atlas project and the African Bird Atlas program at large. So when NIBAP started, the project appears to be ambitious, but strategic as well. NIBAP thought of a way of getting more atlasers, more people to atlasing into the field. So to do this, NIBAP employed a strategy, the bird club strategy. In the bird clubs, before establishing the bird clubs, NIBAP mapped out the distribution of where graduates from apiary are in Nigeria. And then NIBAP tried to set up bird clubs across these regions. And these bird clubs are made up of skilled, trained ornithologists from the AP Leventis Ornithological Research Institute, apiary, as well as an audience, the general public, members of family and friends, and even students from natural sciences and other departments in universities. So the idea of the bird clubs is matching the skill with the unskilled for in order to create awareness, in order to train more people into atlasing. So currently, there are about over 20 bird clubs in Nigeria, and these bird clubs act as training ground. They plan bi-weekly or monthly outings with their members in order to sharpen their skills in bird identification in citizen science. So through this, the bird club assists in data quality control as more members of the bird clubs are getting to know more about birds and be able to identify birds and participate in the project. So what the bird clubs do is that competent members of the bird clubs are being sent to Atlas teams. We have a number of Atlas teams in the country. I mean, 3 major Atlas teams in the country: the Arewa Atlas Team, the Southwest Atlas Team, SWAT, and then the Southeast South-South Atlas Team. Here is the map showing a coverage map of the Nigerian Bird Atlas project showing the different Atlas teams. The Arewa Atlas Team is represented in gray with the largest coverage in Nigeria. And then we have the Southwest Atlas Team represented in the light gray, and the Southeast South-South Atlas Team, CSAT. So the table 1 below shows the number of pentats that have cards in each category. So the 1 card, 2 cards, 3 cards, 4 cards, and then the pentats covered in the whole of Nigeria. The total cards submitted, full protocol cards, FP, and then the total species recorded since the beginning of the project in 2015. As we can see, there has been an increase in data submission in all the different categories: 1 card, 2 card, 3 cards, 4 cards, and then the number of pen cards covered all across the years. In Nigeria, we have about 11,088 pen cards in Nigeria. So also with the total number of spaces recorded. In 2015, there was only 202 spaces that have been submitted to the database. 2016, 571, and currently the database has about 935 spaces recorded in Nigeria. All right, this a time series analysis showing the surveyed pen cards in Nigeria in each quarterly from 2015 to 2016. So as we can see, there has been an increase in the coverage in the number of pen cards submitted to the project, to the database. Even though there has been some declines in some of the months, in some of the quarters, I mean. And here you will see 2020 having a sharp decline. And this decline in 2020 will be attributed to the COVID pandemic. There were less atlases submitting data to the database. There was no much effort in 2020 as a result of the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. Okay, here we see the number of cards submitted in each quarter. It's showing similar pattern, with 2020 having a sharp decline due to COVID, and then it picked up. Then we have the number of spaces submitted on a quarterly basis since the beginning of the project. We can see a sharp increase in the number of spaces that has been recorded. And this number has maintained an asymptote, as you can see, even though there has been some zigzag pattern of rise and fall in the coverage, in the number of spaces recorded. So, and this can be as a result of the presence of migratory species. As you can see here, there has been an increase in the last quarter of 2015 due to the presence of migratory species, Palearctic migrants, as well as the intra-African migrants. They are present during this period, contributing to the total number of species that have been submitted. Likewise, in the first quarter of the following year. So the peak number of species is being recorded in the last quarter and then the first quarter. This has been the trend. Last quarter of the year, first quarter of new year, with the presence of Palearctic migrants, and then with the presence of intra-African migrant, majorly in the last quarter. There has been a decline as well in 2020 due to the impact of COVID-19. So the question is, what has contributed to the increase in coverage, in number of spaces, in number of pen cards that have been covered, number of cards that have been submitted to the database? NIBAP has employed a number of strategies. NIBAP conducts capacity building seminar and workshops across universities, across schools in Nigeria. Trying to create awareness about the project and contribute to atlasing, to data submission. NIBAP also have ambassadors and representatives across the country, regional representatives. NIBAP organize monthly webinars. Tomorrow happens to be one of the day of these webinars, and this has been consistent every month. And then NIBAP usually conduct challenges and competition like the Home Pentat Challenge, which begins January to December every year. And individuals with the highest number of pentats submitted are being awarded prizes. Likewise, with end of the year competition, the Bedding Big Day, December Bedding, NIBAP also have social media handles. These social media handles have been very instrumental to publicity, to creating more awareness about Nigerian Bird Atlas project. So the Arewa Atlas team recently conducted a outing in the northeastern region of Nigeria, collecting data, bird distribution data for the Nigerian Bird Atlas project. So to do this, the team followed the bird map protocol, which is the protocol the Nigerian Bird Atlas follow, as well as the African Bird Atlas project followed. To do this, observers make observation within pentat in a pentat scale. A pentat is, I've been measuring pentats. A pentat is a 9 kilometer by 9 kilometer grid, 5 minutes by 5 minutes. As the name implies, pentat, 5 minutes by 5 minutes. So to submit data, atlasers are expected to spend a minimum of 2 hours surveying birds, or maximum of 5 days, covering as much habitat as possible to submit a full protocol card. Else it is recorded as ad hoc submission. So on the 13th July, the Arewa Atlas team embarked on their quarterly atlasing expedition. And for this quarter, the second quarter of the year, the team atlas the northeastern region of Nigeria, specifically Adamawa and Taraba states. So first thing in the morning, the team rise in the morning and assemble in a place to sort out, to strategize on the routes to follow, on the pentats to cover. And members are separated into groups of 2, subgroups, and each group are expected to cover at least 3 pentats, spending a minimum of 2 hours in each pentat to submit a full protocol card. So to get to the field, atlasers face a lot of barriers, crossing rivers, water bodies, hard terrain, thick vegetation. Some are able to get boats to cross water bodies. Some cross the water bodies barefooted with their boots, carrying their boots in shallow water bodies.
Okay. Don't be afraid, eh? Don't be afraid. Just sit still. Eh? Ah.
All right, this is a landscape view of the vegetation in Taraba State, where the Arewa Atlas team were during the period of the expedition. Okay, so here we have number of pentats that have been atlased by the Arewa Atlas team. The Arewa Atlas team, they started in 2018 by a number of citizen scientists, a group of people who have shared interests in mapping biodiversity, mapping birds. So as we can see, there has been a trend over the years. There has been a trend with 2020 having a sharp decline, just as we have seen with the Nigerian Bird Atlas data, impact of COVID-19. And here we have the recent outing where the Atlas team hovered over 150 pentats, 162 pentats precisely. So this is the coverage map of the Nigerian Bird Atlas project just before the Atlas expedition embarked by the Arewa Atlas team. And this is the coverage map just after the expedition. So as we can see, there has been a massive data submission to the database. Over 162 pentats have been atlased during a period of 4 days between 13 to 18 of July 2022. Isn't that amazing? Okay, during the period of the atlasing, a total of 4,476 observations were made, and 297 species were recorded in 68 families in 162 pentats. This is approximately 13,711 kilometers square that has been covered by the team, a team of 22 atlases. So this size, this 162 pentats is equivalent to twice the size of one of the states in Nigeria, Ekiti State. And it's also about 5 times the size of Luxembourg, a country in the Europe. So that's massive. So during the period, the maximum number of species recorded in a pentat was 73, and then the lowest number of species recorded was 16 in pentat 09, 30, 11, 15 with this coordinate. So these are some of the field observations. Pernicious dove was the most frequently recorded species, and these are some of the observations during the Atlassian expedition. The orange-cheeked waxbill, the Gosling's fountain, Senegal tiki, violet turaco, African cuckoo, and many others. These are more of the field observations during.
Bello.
Yes.
African cuckoo hawk, please.
African
cuckoo hawk, please.
Cuckoo hawk. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, bro. Okay, so this table shows the 20 most frequently recorded bird species that were recorded during the Atlas expedition. Pernicious dove was recorded 106 times by different atlases, followed by red-cheeked cordon-bleu, which is a resident species. So these are mostly resident species, except Abdenstock, which is an intra-African migrant. There are more species. So these are some of the cuckoos that were observed during the Atlas expedition. The cuckoos, for example, the classis cuckoo follows the rain. And this is the time to observe the cuckoos in Nigeria, in some parts of Africa. So there were 8 different species of cuckoos that were recorded during this Atlas expedition. Black cuckoo was recorded only once. Jacobin cuckoo 6 times. Great spotted cuckoo was recorded 7 times. And then in that order, classis cuckoo was recorded highest, 39 different records, different submissions of classis cuckoo. So these are some of the notable migratory species that were observed during this Atlas expedition. The Montagu's harrier, pallid harrier, which were observed by one of the atlases, the name of Jallo, Muhammad Jallo. So Muhammad Jallo observed pallid harrier, a juvenile, a first-year pallid harrier, and Montagu's harrier. Tree pipit, Eurasian wryneck, were observed by one of the atlasers, Mr. Ponyil. And this is very unusual as they arrive very early. So we have to contact Mr. Ponyil to be sure that these were the species that were observed. And he confirmed that he knew what he saw, the Russian wryneck, the three-pipit. They were observed at a very close range of 20 meters. That was the Russian wryneck, and then the three-pipit was observed between 20 and 40 meters range. Other species that were recorded, other migratory species include the Collie sandpiper, the marsh sandpiper, the wood sandpiper. So the data generated by the Nigerian Bird Atlas project, the Arewa Atlas Team, doesn't just sit in the database. This data has been documented in regional ornithological bulletins, like the Malimbus. So this is the gray-backed fiscal, which has recorded an extension in its range, submitted by Mr. Ringim, Peterson, Ivande, and Ezekiel, sometimes in 2020. And we have the range extension of, and the first record of breeding of house sparrow in Nigeria. So more observations are being made, and more of these observations are being documented. So currently, we are working on some noteworthy bird records. We have submitted some noteworthy bird records, including the first record of the gray wagtail in Nigeria. Okay, not just birds, the Nigerian Bird Atlas project has inspired many other citizen science projects. Many of the, sorry for this. Sorry for this. Okay, not just the birds. The Nigerian Bird Atlas project has inspired other citizen science projects, like the butterfly monitoring. And then atlasers get to observe other biota in the field, butterflies, snakes, and all that. And atlasers have been contributing a number of records to the iNaturalist all across. So this is one of the Atlas machines, the incumbent coordinator of the Arewa Atlas team, Mr. Joseph Izan, who has been involved in birds as well as butterfly monitoring. And here is one of his records, the Jos Zulu. The Jos Zulu is a butterfly species that is endemic to the Jos Plateau in Nigeria. So there are other stories. There are stories from the field. We, the atlasers, get to meet the local communities and then get to hear more about their practices. So this man is a farmer, and he was narrating to me that trees in his region are cut down in order to deter birds. So birds have been destroying their farmlands, and what they do is to cut down the trees. And unfortunately, when they do that, the land becomes not fertile anymore. And this is a farmland next to this picture that employs the use of non-toxic chemical deterrents. He narrated that when they started using the non-toxic chemical deterrents for birds, the farmland become more fertile and the plants become more greener. and the harvest bumper. So more stories from the field. So here is a variable sunbed that was killed for meat by kids. This was observed during our last expedition. So imagine what meat this small bird. So with citizen science project, with bird clubs all across Nigeria, with foundations like the Better Earth Foundation that we have here in the Jos Plateau, the kids are being taught about birds and biodiversity. And we believe the story is going to change sooner rather than later. And this has been attributed to the Nigerian Bird Atlas project that have inculcated the awareness of birds biodiversity through the Nigerian Bird Atlas, through the project and other citizen science projects like the butterfly mapping done by Mr. Joseph Izan. So let's hear from the citizen scientists that have been involved with the Arewa Atlas team to make this record-breaking expedition from 13 to 18 of July 2022. Let's hear from Joseph Izan, the coordinator of the Arewa Atlas.
Hello everyone, my name is Joseph Izang. I am a nature enthusiast and also a member of the Arewa Atlas team. I have been a member of this team since its inception, and currently I serve as the coordinator of the team. I joined the team because it gives me an avenue to meet people with similar interests as myself and also make a significant contribution to sciences through the submission of my observation to different citizen science projects. One of the citizen science projects that the Arewa Atlas team has been contributing hugely to is the Nigerian Bird Atlas project. For example, our recent outing bird expedition to the northeastern part of Nigeria, whereby we submitted thousands of records in hundreds of checklists, and personally I recorded 136 bird species, including 2 lifers to my list. So this is how much Arewa Atlas team is doing to understand, to contribute to sciences through the submission of observations in the field. It can be very challenging out there in the field, especially when you go out to Atlas in a place where you've never been to. But then at the same time, it's interesting because you get to see things that usually you won't see around you and also experience other people's culture. And then you are sharing this knowledge, and then it's making progress in sciences. Thank you.
Arewa Atlas Team is a group of young, vibrant nature lovers and bird watchers. I was privileged to join their outing in September 2020, and the just concluded outing in July with over 162 penthad covered. There's one thing that's assured with this group. It promises you adventure and you become more aware of nature around you, and most especially the interesting birds around the northern parts of Nigeria. Thank you.
Hi, I am Hafiz Abdullah Adam, active member Arewa Atlas Team, an Atlas team from the northern part of Nigeria, which has an extraordinary methodology of data collection that has a great impact in generating very big distribution of biological data through the help of citizen scientists. As of recent, there has been an increasing contribution from the public in the scientific studies. For a long time, biodiversity conservation have suffered enough from the shortage of data due to lack of pound and time, and also shortage of skills personnels. But with the integration of citizen science, data of biological diversity across the world can easily be generated. Arewa Atlas team have helped me a lot because thank to them and to NIBAP, because they give me chance to travel across the north. Because of that, I have now uploaded more than 300 bird and butterflies species and other biological phenomena to iNaturalist and to virtual museum as well. It gives me the opportunity to sow and record new species in my life. Well, the actual major challenge to student science and to Arewa Atlas Team is the security challenges here in Nigeria, especially down here in the north. That's the actual challenge for me. And for Arewa Atlas Team, actually, I'm seeing them as the future of the Nigerian Bird Atlas project, because an Atlas team that can atlas more than 150 pentas.
Hello, my name is Yakubu Lairongaya. I'm a plant scientist. I got to know the Arewa Atlas Team through a friend, and well, this is my first outing, and it has been amazing. I got to know a lot of new people, new places, and lots of birds. I love nature, and I love to explore. So this is just an opportunity for me to explore, for me to gain knowledge and all that. Arewa Atlas Team is amazing. It's quite amazing. I would like to say thank you to my friends, to those who introduced me to the Arewa Atlas Team. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, my name is Ponyil Abunemia, military enthusiast and also member of Arewa Atlas Team. Yeah, my experience with Arewa Atlas Team has actually been very interesting, though not without challenges. It has also helped me to improve my bird knowledge and also expose me to different birds across vegetation type. So with the insecurity issue in Nigeria currently, it's actually very challenging and some of the pointers are even not accessible. So
my name is Dixon. We're here out again for another atlasing expedition as part of the citizen science group that are atlasing birds for NIBAP, and it's been a good thing out here. I know it's a kind of quite tedious work to do, walking around the whole pentads of 9 by 9 kilometers, trying to get as much birds as you would get. I mean, it's interesting, and I look forward to another time of getting and recording birds distributions in Nigeria.
Hello, I'm Abdulhamid Ibrahim, a citizen scientist for Nigeria Bird Atlas projects, specifically under the Arewa Atlas team. In the just concluded second quarter outing for the year, the expedition was in Adamawa and Taraba states. In Adamawa state, where I specifically participated, the environment is a savanna grassland with few patches of woodland, and the people were accommodating, which made bird atlasing easier and interesting. We recorded a number of species, including the sight of a large number of abdim storks, which are breeding migrants from East Africa. I also recorded 2 new species I haven't seen on the field before, which are the Egyptian plovers and 4-banded sangros. We hope that more funds will be released to citizen scientists so that it will make mobility easier to access pencils early enough to cover for the day. Thank you.
Okay, that was Mr. Ibrahim Abdulhamid. Okay, this is a tweet from one of the Atlas Atu sharing his first experience with Arewa Atlas Team. Mr. Oposio Emmanuel, who recorded 143 species and new species to his list. There is another tweet from the Nigerian Bird Atlas project with an update of the recent atlasing by the Arewa Atlas Team. Okay, there are more stories, past stories from the Arewa Atlas Team since 2018. So I can share these stories for you to read and enjoy. And this is the Numan Team, the team that last one of the states, Adamu State, with the project manager of the Nigerian Bird Atlas project, middle, and others. And then this is the other team, the team that at last part of Taraba State, which is one of the states in Nigeria with a very big landmass, with the project manager of the NIBAP as well. So then I would like to acknowledge the local communities who were very accommodating to the atlasers during the period of the expedition. or with the citizen scientists as well, who have been there on the field, recording birds, harsh weather, bad terrain, and all that. The Arewa Atlas team at large, Aplori, for their constant support, particularly the Nigerian Bird Atlas project, and then the Swiss Ornithological Institute, who has been very supportive to the Nigerian Bird Atlas project, and the Arewa Atlas team indirectly. Thank you very much. So here I end with the words of Steven Spielberg's stories don't have a middle or an end anymore. We usually have a beginning that never stops beginning. So this is just the beginning. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Umbule Mador. I volunteer with the Nigerian Bird Atlas Project, and I am a member of the Arewa Atlas Team. The Atlas trip to Adamu State was a very, very special one for me because it exposed some of the challenges that comes with atlasing. The most challenging experience for me was having to cross over from Bari to Sabewambula in a bit.
Don't be afraid, eh?
It was quite an adventure.
Don't be afraid, just sit
course,
still.
With the adventure came a number of lifers.
Eh?
The grey pranticle and black-bellied bustard. Those two species were a sight to behold. Please do well to join a bird club or Atlas team around you today and contribute to the project while having fun and appreciating nature as well. Thank you.